Ashlyn was recently on the Mardi Gras with her husband and two boys, and she has this great Instagram channel that we've been following for a while that you should check out. We've got it linked down in the description below. Check that out.
She has amazing photographs.
She does. And we'll talk about that a little bit too. And she posts some great information with her photos too. So it's almost like a mini blog on some of them. So it's a lot of great information. So we really been fans of her Instagram for a long time. But now is time to get on with the show, because we got so much to say about this very big ship, very exciting cruise with our very special guest. Let's say hello to Ashlyn.
Yay!
Hey, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
We're doing good. We're doing
well.
good. We're off to kind of a rough start tonight, but that starts. I can't even talk.
Per usual.
That's about right. Yeah, that's how we do it. So we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, you introduce her.
She's here.
All right. So we're very excited to have you here. Like I was saying, we love you. Well, we've talked to you. We love your Instagram, and we really enjoy talking to you. And
the photographs are just amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So we're excited to talk about the Mardi Gras, and we're going to get started on that, and we'll circle back to the Instagram thing, because it's a lot of fun. We enjoy the different social media, YouTube, and I think Instagram probably we do the most. A little bit of Twitter. No, not much of the. What's the other one that kids like?
I don't know. The
one
with
the
dance.
Stuff?
I don't know. it's called I don't. Oh, I can't think of it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on then. Hey, and let's say hello to Love to Cruise. Glad to have you guys here. We're just about to start talking to Ashlyn from I'd Rather Be Cruising Instagram. So the Mardi Gras. Let's get to the basics first. When did you go?
TikTok. That's what it is. Sorry. I was like, I'm gonna get this.
Good job. But you know what? It's hip and new, so it's probably been replaced since we started talking.
Probably.
So anyway, the Mardi Gras. When did you go? Who went with you? And where did the ship go? Let's just start with that.
We sailed out of Port Canaveral on August 7th. Mm-hmm. I went with my husband and my two boys. I have a 16-year-old and an 11-year-old. And we went to Cozumel, Costa Rica, and then Mahogany Bay.
Oh, wow. Nice.
That sounds like a nice itinerary.
So what COVID requirements did you have to go through or experience?
Our youngest is under 12, so he had to have an exemption to sail. That was a little bit of a stressful process, just waiting to know that we had gotten it. I think we ended up getting that exemption the Monday before, 2 Mondays before we sailed. So less than 2 weeks.
That was cutting it close.
We felt like it, but there were others who it was even a shorter amount of time. So we felt lucky to get it even when we did. So he had to be tested on 3 days before. He had to have a PCR test. So we did that on Wednesday before we sailed on Saturday. And then he had to be tested at the terminal before we left. Right. The week after we sailed, that's when they started requiring testing for everyone. So none of the rest of us had to have that. We had our vaccines and our vaccine card with us. But my youngest had to have the PCR test and like I said, the rapid test at the terminal. But we talked to him about that, told him what the deal was, and he was more than willing to. He's like, nope, I've had it done before. He's had some exposures at school, so he was fine with it. He was a good sport, and I'm glad we did it. I don't necessarily have to do it again, just from the waiting standpoint. And cruise countdown wasn't quite as fun because it was just a little
a little extra stress or a little extra to deal with. But I like how you involved him in the decision. I think that's a cool approach. Yeah. Because he's old enough to go weigh the pros and cons, and I think there's a lot more pros than cons in this case because this is an amazing ship.
There's so much activities, so many activities that they can do.
She's been on the ship. Let's ask her about it. So Ashlyn, what was also on COVID? Just to kind of clear it up, and I think some people may be aware of this, but with Carnival at the time you sailed. What about masks on board or any other things you noticed on board that might be a little different than when you normally sail on a cruise?
the sailing that we went on, that is when they started having masks indoors
Mm-hmm.
all the time. And then for the most part, everybody complied. If you were eating or drinking, you didn't have to obviously have your mask on then, but there was usually somebody standing outside of Lido to hand you a mask if you were going into the marketplace. But other than that, there weren't really a whole lot of restrictions. There were hand sanitizer stations, plenty of sinks, that type of thing.
Right.
But
You don't have to worry about people sneezing on the food with the mask on.
Well, and the two, most everybody who had been vaccinated.
True.
So the chance of spreading was probably pretty thin. So yeah, you had a combination of efforts there going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely sounds a little different. But it sounds like some of the videos and pictures I've seen with people cruising online.
And how was your mustard drill?
Oh, that was great. That was absolutely wonderful. I tend to get a little claustrophobic in cramped quarters. So sometimes I don't like the muster drill if I'm having to stand too close to people. So watching the video and then going and checking in on our own time at our muster station, it was absolutely wonderful. I thought it was the greatest muster drill I have ever participated in.
So do you think that they'll be doing that in the future?
I
carrying it forward?
I really do. There were a few times that they had to make announcements to encourage people to go on and go, and they would announce how many people were left or what percentage had did it. But it was very simple. It took almost no time at all. And I really hope they continue it that way because
I hope the standing on the decks squished like sardines is over.
I agree.
When you have to leave, there's the massive traffic jam in the stairs and the elevators. None of that happened. So it was very nice.
Yeah. That's the worst part. The actual getting the information, not that bad, but getting there and standing and being squeezed and then trying to get out of there. I agree. That's
the worst.
So let's talk about, but that does sound like a positive development. But let's talk about what some of the ship was like. So what were your first impressions of Mardi Gras? What stood out to you when you boarded and so forth and so on? What just in general?
Okay, we boarded on the 6th deck, which took us right into the grand atrium. So we could see center stage was right to our right. The wall of windows, it actually looked out onto the port, the terminal. So the view got better once we started sailing from there. But just you walk in and that beautiful atrium, and then but too the staff members, the crew that were in there, cheering everybody, clapping, just saying welcome aboard. That was a little emotional, it just felt different than it had. I mean, they're always welcoming, but that felt even more special than
I can imagine that. I think I've got a little emotional just watching videos of people recording that those sorts of experiences, getting back on a ship for the first time, and the crew reacting with such enthusiasm, and they're always so great. We've had nothing but great experiences with the crew on Carnival and in general, but to see that enthusiasm and know that they've got their livelihood back. Yes, it's very cool.
It's very exciting.
Yes. So let's get into, I mean, we got a lot more to talk about the ship in general, but let's talk about our favorite thing about cruising.
Is the food.
Okay.
So I heard one of your sons really liked Shaq's Big Chicken.
Yes. Particularly the sauce. He wants Shaq sauce. He's a big Chick-fil-A sauce fan, and he has requested Shaq sauce. Of course, we'd have to go back on Mardi Gras to get that. Or I think there's 2 land-based restaurants, but nowhere near where we are in North Carolina. So I like big chicken as well too. I am not normally a fries chicken tender person, but they were good. The fries were not disappointing. I think I on an Instagram story, I'd put usually fries disappoint me. They look good, but then you go to eat them and you're like, yeah. But these were absolutely wonderful. And I had them several times throughout the week.
Oh, I can't wait to try the chicken. Ooh, that looks so good.
They do look good there. We've got a picture that you took up there. And the tenders look awesome. The fries look like they're done really well too. And then you had the chicken and biscuit. Was that a breakfast item?
It was, but they served breakfast until I think 3 o'clock.
Oh, nice!
That's awesome.
So we had several of those. My youngest son actually really liked it. Although the chicken was dipped in some honey chili glaze. So he would take the chicken off of the biscuit and just eat the chicken.
Right.
I thought the biscuit was good, but he's not the biggest bread eater in the morning sometimes.
Right.
But those were very good. That little bit of honey taste, that sweet with that savory was quite yummy.
Yeah. It sounds like they've got another success. And the first thing we usually go to when we go on a Carnival cruise is we usually go to Guy's Burger Joint. And I know you had some pictures on your Instagram of Guy's Burger Joint. Can you tell us how it was maybe a little different on Mardi Gras?
Well, it was not down by the pool. It was one deck above the pool. But they were able, I think, to just give it more space. So you can see the line there. You could weave in and out. A lot more seating. Because behind the picture that you're showing now, there was the seating out underneath, out on the open deck. Then there was also seating underneath. So if it were raining, you would be covered. And then the toppings bar just had a lot more room around it to navigate around, because you just didn't have to deal with all of the traffic that's around the pool as well. So
right, that's nice.
It was nice having a dedicated space for it.
Yeah, it seems like the Guy's Burger Joint. It's typically in the same general spot, like you say, on all the ships on the Lido deck by the pool there. And it seems like there is kind of like a congestion point, like right around the toppings bar. I think you're right, and close to, of course, the line. It's nice that they've given it so much more room, not just for seating, but just for waiting. So you're not like blocking the ice cream machine or the doorway to the next seating area or whatever.
And they have it down to a science where they move that line.
They did. We never had to wait. The only time we waited was they gave my son the last burger that they had ready, and they were waiting on the others to finish cooking, and I had to wait maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So otherwise we were just moving right on through the line. So they really.
So now that there's Big Chicken and Guy's Burger, which one do you think your family will go to first?
Oh gosh.
Or is it split half and half?
It's honestly probably split half and half. And I think there's enough interest in both that we would probably, okay, you two go to Guy's, you two go to Big Chicken, and we'll just share everything. Everybody liked the fries better from Big Chicken than they did from Guy's. They were a little different on Mardi Gras.
Interesting.
So they weren't the usual, what I'm used to, the seasoned smaller fries. They were different. And so honestly, I just ate the ones from Big Chicken.
Yeah, they look good. They look good. And now let me ask you about, and you sent us some pictures for street eats, but I guess I'm not seeing them right now. I guess I messed up loading them. So sorry, guys. You'll have to click the link down below and check out the I'd Rather Be Cruising Instagram, because I think you can probably see them there. But can you tell us what street eats is, how much it costs, and what you could get there? Kind of describe it, since I don't have your pictures. I messed up.
That's okay. Street eats was down by the Lido, the pool, the beach pool in the center of Lido. It had the seafood shack was first, that you had to pay for.
Right.
But then there were 3 street eats sections that were included in the cruise fare.
Nice.
And their menu would change every day. There was timed fries, and so it was fries with different toppings every single day. Steam Dream, which was usually Asian dumpling, or I don't know how you say that, bao buns. I don't know if I'm saying that.
Yeah, those are so good.
One of your pictures look like a pot sticker. If people are familiar with what that is, kind of like with that type of dumpling. So yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And then Mad Sizzle, to me, it had like maybe an Indian flair to it. There's usually some sort of hummus or pita, something involved.
Yeah.
So it's a good range of different food from different areas.
Yes, and they were small enough to where it was just you could get something from all three. They were big enough to share, but small enough to where you could sample all three and just try the different things they had to offer and just see what you liked and not get too full and move on to something else.
Right. And their setup, I don't know if you said this exactly, but sometimes I get confused because we talked to her before and I forget, and I'm trying to figure out what I did with the photos, but they're set up kind of like stands. And I think when you're describing before, you said it kind of was like a food truck type feeling. Yeah. So that's really cool. And did you say how much it costs for each serving of these?
It was included in your cruise fare, so
that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Except hopefully for the seafood shack, right?
The seafood shack, yeah, which that's lobster rolls, and they have those on other cruise lines, so we're used to paying that for that.
Was it by the Lido or was it on a different?
No, it was right by Lido Marketplace was on one side of the pool. On the other side, you had the street eats, and then also Blue Iguana, and then you it transitioned into cabins. So yeah.
Well,
wow, it looks so nice.
Yeah, so I've got your pictures. I've got your pictures of the buffet line, but I don't have your picture of the street eats. So that was I'm going to stop beating myself up on that. Let's move on. Ask her about some other food or something.
So what did you think of Chibang and the other food options on board?
We really enjoyed Chibang. We went for dinner the first night. We kind of looked ahead. That was nice about having the hub app. We could look ahead and see what the menu was for the main dining room, and kind of picked a night that we just weren't. It didn't have our favorite things for the main dining room, so we were like, okay, this is a night to go try Chibang. So we went the first night. Really enjoyed it. We sat by the window, had a nice seat. We ordered, I think my one son had nachos, so he ordered an appetizer from the Mexican menu, and then had sweet and sour shrimp for his entree. So then he went to the Asian. So we mixed I think I had an Asian appetizer and then a Mexican main dish, so you can mix it all up. So we really enjoyed that. We went to lunch once. It was only open on sea days, so we went to lunch, and you could get, it was kind of reminded me a little bit of the Mongolian wok, where you could get that noodle bowl, or you could get a burrito bowl. So that was nice. I got a burrito bowl. My husband and only one of my sons went with us. They both got the noodle bowls, and then for dessert at lunch they had little churros with ice cream. It was just a circle churro, and we loved them so much that we went back on our last sea day. We had eaten, where did we go? We went somewhere else. Oh, we went to Guy's Pig and Anchor, and then we're like, let's go get dessert at Chibang. So we went in just to get dessert.
Were they freshly made every day?
They must have been, because they were still warm when they came out. So
nice.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
That's definitely.
So, and for anybody that doesn't know what a churro is, you've probably
it's like a fried cinnamon stick.
Yeah, it's like a stick with cinnamon on it. Yeah, it's kind of like a
cinnamon
donut,
sugar. Yeah,
these are a circular shape, or they kind of too remind me of Southern State Fair funnel cakes.
Oh, sure, funnel cakes.
Maybe a little bit, except with cinnamon sugar on them.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And okay, so then of course this ship had beautiful main dining rooms. You had so this is the Palm.
That was the Palm, yes. So that was for early and late dining. So we did not eat in there. We had your time dining, but it was beautiful.
Okay, and then the anytime was in
one day to look at it.
Yeah,
it was in Flamingo, which was only one story. Yeah. It was a lot
Right.
smaller, which is fine. I think they were encouraging people to go to Casina and Shebang and Guys Pig and Anchor.
Huh.
Yep. Yeah, I get that. And of course, if you wanted to do something really fancy, I know a lot of people are talking about emeralds. That's you got us a nice picture of that. Now, I think you said you didn't go there.
We didn't go there. We just
Yeah.
with all of the options that there were, we couldn't make it to everything. And emeralds you did have to pay extra
Right.
for. There were a couple of things that sounded really, really good.
Mhm.
They had breakfast there you could get. I think there was a
Oh,
banana
wow.
Foster crepe of some sort. I'm like, okay, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
But we never made it there. Just like I said, there was so much
Right.
to try and just trying to get to everything. And then there are favorite dishes in the main dining room that we have that we wanted. For me, that's mainly desserts, but
Sure.
Yep,
but-
you're my type of person.
Yeah, I can appreciate
I
that.
always love desserts.
But yeah, you're right. There's so many. We can tell just by reading about and from talking to you that there's so many things to choose from. And then this is a picture you got for us of the blue iguana, and I think you can tell from this picture how much bigger that is. It's usually just a little corner stand.
Right.
And here they've
It
just
looks nice.
tripled or quadrupled the size of it.
Yeah.
So
that
plenty
was
of food.
Yeah, that was on one side, and then on the other side were the street eats and
Okay.
the seafood shack. So the three
Nice.
street eats and the seafood shack took up the same amount of space that Blue Iguana did.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's great.
That's crazy. So, so maybe you already told us, but what would you say was your favorite thing or favorite things out of you and your family that you enjoyed on the Mardi Gras that people should be sure not to miss? And then we're gonna seriously, we'll stop talking about food. But just to wrap up food, what do you recommend, or what would your boys recommend?
I know that my husband and my youngest son, who had the churros, they hands down said, "Go get the churros."
Right.
That was the best kept secret because we had it. We went to lunch there. We had a sea day, then we went to all of our ports, and then we had 2 sea days at the end. So we went to our next to last sea day. We're like, oh, we missed this the first sea day.
Oh no! Yeah.
Every day. I don't miss Big Chicken. You have to go.
Yeah.
The street eats menu changes every single day. We
Right.
did not make it there every single day on the
Oh,
port days. It didn't open until 3.
no. Sure.
Oh, wow.
It took me a little bit to realize that.
Mhm.
So just try as much as you can.
Definitely.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we always tell
Yeah.
people is try it. If
Try
you're
some
on
different
vacation, try it.
Yeah, why not? So let's pivot now, and let's change topics totally. Let's switch, and just for a moment, let's talk about the bars. What
Yes.
did you think of the bars, or what can you tell us about what's available on Mardi Gras for bars?
Okay. I myself, we are not much drinkers,
Mhm.
but the bars were beautiful.
Mhm.
There were lots of options. My favorite was probably Brass Magnolia. It was absolutely beautifully decorated. The light fixtures were made out of trombones.
Wow.
It was I just thought it was an absolutely beautiful space, and it was
Yeah.
right outside of the Flamingo restaurant. So there were a lot of people dropping by on their way to eat. Fortune teller, I loved the little seating area around it. Had like red couches and mirrors all over the wall. It was just a really neat space. That's it right there.
Yeah.
There was alchemy, Alchemy, which I know a lot of people rave about.
Yeah, but this one looks a little different. I know that
It's
blue.
blue.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Well, there was lighting all in that area that
Mhm.
would change colors all through the French Quarter, and then past Emeralds. There looked like the dreamscape things that they have on Vista and Horizon in the lobby, and they would
Mhm.
change colors. They didn't
Hmm.
the videos that would play on you, where it would have different scenes, but they would change colors. So I caught it at a blue moment, I think. The Red Frog Tiki Bar was 2 stories out by Lido. Can't remember if I sent a picture. There it is. Yeah. So it was 2 stories. So we did the last night. My boys always like to get what they call strawberry drinks, virgin strawberry daiquiris. So they both went to Red Frog and got those.
And did you find their coffee bar?
Oh, yes.
Can't forget coffee.
Yes. My oldest son loves like an iced coffee with all sorts of sweet things. He likes caramel. So he was there pretty much every morning. He's an early riser despite being a teenager. He's usually up at 7 o'clock and he's like, I'm going to the coffee shop. Wow. Okay. So yeah, we did go to the coffee shop.
So did any of you, this is another pivot, did any of you try the Bolt roller coaster?
Yes, we did. We all did. We couldn't go on it and not try it. So
and it does cost, it's not free, right?
It does. It was $15 a person. So for a family of 4, that was $60 for each of us to ride it for probably 30 seconds. So it was an expensive little venture for time wise, but it was worth it. I'm glad that we did it. It's not something that I would do multiple times during the cruise, just because $15 is a little starts to add up. And there's just so much other stuff to do. So it was fun. It was a nice thrill. So
sure. And it's a cool and unique thing, but it seems like you're not on there very long. And I know, like, you sent me another picture of this really cool miniature golf course. Of course, it's got the Bolt track going all over the top of it, but
there's all around
it. And now, so is the roller coaster? I know it's electric.
It is.
Start singing. It's electric. So it's not super noisy. I'm guessing you hear a little track noise as it goes by, maybe?
It almost sounded like thunder when you were in other parts of the ship. I know I heard some people talking about because that was on deck 19, the actual track was. The mini golf, I believe, was on 18 right below it. But I heard people talking about on 15, there are rooms below it, and then they could hear it. But then other people, like, it wasn't awful, but just kind of sounded like distant thunder, even when we were in those areas of the ship.
And does the Mardi Gras have like a ropes course too?
It does. We spent a lot of time on that. My youngest son absolutely loves the ropes courses. He his first few cruises, he was not tall enough to do those, and ever since he has become tall enough, that is probably his favorite activity to do. So, and this one had a little zip line portion to it. So, he was up there just really, I think, to go on the zip line as many times as he could. He would zoom around that course, and in fact, I went up there with him at one point, and he almost lapped me. So.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
So it sounds like your kids had a lot of fun doing a whole bunch of activities. Were they also involved with the clubs?
My oldest was in Club O2, so he did. He made some friends. They had an outdoor seating area. It was right near Guy's Burger Joint, so perfectly placed. And the outdoor seating area was really nice. It looked like a little lounge area. So he made some friends and kind of hung out with them, some various activities. My youngest would have been in Camp Ocean, but it was closed due to COVID. But he was fine with that. As he's gotten older, he's gone to less and less activities over the years. So even if it had been open, I don't know that he would have gone to a lot of it. In fact, at one point, he said, I'm more things that I wouldn't have done if I went to camp. So I think he
I
was
see.
happy
Yeah.
with
Good.
what
Good.
we would go watch the dive-in movies, and he would swim in the pool the whole hour and a half,
Yep.
2 hours, and then stop.
Yep.
We'd stop and watch the movie for a little bit, and then go back to swimming.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, you can't do that at most movie theaters. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What any other activities that you did? Either it's so, and I put up the pictures you had of the water slide.
yes.
Any other pictures that you and your husband did, or that you did as a family, or any that were
Well,
familiar
we
for the
did
boys?
the water slides. The orange one was one where you stood and
No.
water drops
Oh,
underneath you. So
Oh,
wow.
Oh, no.
that was a little intimidating.
Yeah.
The first time I'm standing there and the countdown goes 3, 2, 1, and that pause before the door opened up and the floor
Oh,
dropped
boy.
out underneath you was a little nerve wracking, but I
Yeah.
did it more than once. It
Yeah.
was a lot of fun. The blue one had a mat, so you laid on your stomach on the mat. So that's the first time I think Carnival's done that. So that was fun. We spent a lot more time on waterworks than we have in some of our more recent cruises, just because there were different slides that we hadn't grown used to, and they were pretty
Right.
quick. Sometimes the slides can be a little slow, so these were pretty quick. Lots of fun.
Yeah.
Was
We-
there a big wait time to get on the slides and stuff?
There really wasn't. Like I said, we're all pretty early risers, so we are usually up and have breakfast, and Waterworks opens at 9. And usually, if it's a sea day, the Sky Course will open at 9 if the wind allows, and we are usually in line for one of those at 9 o'clock, getting
Right.
on.
Right.
So there was the last sea day. I think we did Waterworks the first hour that was open, and we were the only ones on there.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
So did it seem kind of full, or
In the afternoon, it would get a little bit busier, but I think just because there just weren't as many kids as there normally would be, because
Right.
they would only grant up to 5% exemptions. So there wasn't a lot of seating at Waterworks, so that was one of our one of the things we noticed, that we're like, when they're at full capacity and this ship has a lot more kids on it, there's
Yeah.
nowhere for parents to sit.
Yeah.
That's kind of strange.
Yeah, it was just kind of all you had Waterworks, then the track, and then the mini golf, kind of all right there together at the back of the ship. So
Sure.
not a whole lot of space, but it didn't affect us any, just because we were there early. And then, like I said, I just think without having a lot of children on the
Sure.
ship.
It probably made a big difference. We have a couple questions coming in here, so we're going to take a break from asking our questions, and we got a question here from C. Cetra. I hope I'm saying that right. And they're asking if you did a bubble excursion.
We did not. We chose not to. We looked at them. It just wasn't anything that we were really interested in. We also knew by going on a bubble excursion, then my child that's unvaccinated is going to be around all of the other unvaccinated children. So we just, for the money that they cost and for what it just wasn't anything that we were interested in. My youngest was happy staying on the ship. In fact, he said, "You know what? I'm glad I didn't get off, because it's really hot." And it was hot. He could just stay on the ship and do whatever he wanted. My oldest and I got off in Cozumel and Costa Maya and walked around for a little bit so I could get pictures of the ship, and we did some shopping. And then in Mahogany Bay, my husband and I got off each twice, once with each other and then once with our oldest son. So and then walked on the beach and that type of thing. So
nice.
So yeah, it was a different experience for us. We've never stayed on the ship before. We always do either a Carnival excursion or our own. Just depends on what we want to do and what port it is. But this was our first time staying on the ship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go.
There you are.
Okay. We
You
lost
froze
for-
on us.
Yes, that was our first trip to Costa Maya. So I would like to go
Oh.
back just so I can see a little bit more than just what was at the port area. But
And were the people excited to have you there? The natives, I guess
Yeah.
you would say,
Yeah.
or
yes, I think
forgive me.
yes, they were all very friendly in the shops and the very welcoming. At Mahogany Bay, there was this big, huge welcome sign with mounted on plants or something. It was. I didn't send a picture of that, but it had a turtle on it. My youngest son loves turtles, so I had to.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Just very welcoming, appreciative. That was for us. That was the first time Mardi Gras had stopped at any of those places, those ports. So
Right.
it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, that's really cool. So let's go ahead, and we're got another question here. See if you can, if you have any information on this. So I think we can put in our 2 cents on this too. But Julie Bogues is she's going to go on her first cruise, I think next month, or is it this month? That's soon. It's coming up. And she's wondering, she got a room under the pool deck, under the Lido deck, and she's wondering how awful. I imagine she means how noisy that's going to be. Your thoughts on that?
We have stayed under Lido a couple of times. We did not on Mardi Gras. We were on deck 12, and Lido is 16, so we were underneath rooms for this one. But we stayed on the Sunshine. We were under Lido, and we were actually under the marketplace. So one of those trips, we could hear in the morning the carts with the plates, but it wasn't. It didn't bother us because we were already up. So if somebody's wanting to sleep in, that might bother them. I don't know. We have always tried to avoid being directly underneath the pool just because we've always figured that there would be traffic. I don't know that for sure. But
we had one under.
Yeah, and then sometimes there's rooms on, or usually there is rooms on Lido. So it just depends on, I would think, where she is below Lido.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It kind of depends where you are, and she's going to be on the Carnival Glory. We were on an older ship. We were on Carnival Triumph, which became Carnival Sunrise. And we were under the Lido deck proper, and we're probably under where the Blue Iguana Tequila Bar would later be put. It wasn't on there yet. But in the morning, we would hear vibrations of the chairs being set up and moved around. And so you didn't hear like yelling and screaming or splashing or anything like that because it's pretty enclosed. But you'd hear like a little vibration on the ceiling of your room. It's kind of, does that sound similar to, is that either of you ladies? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So Julie, don't freak out about it. It's not a terrible place to be at all. It's not going to be like keeping you awake or anything like that. It's just like if you've ever lived in an apartment building, you have upstairs neighbors. Every once in a while, you might hear them vacuuming, right?
Oh my goodness!
Or moving their chair around.
Started.
Okay. If our upstairs neighbor is watching, we're sorry. Anyway, so let's move on. Just real quick, did you go to any shows?
We did.
Okay.
We did. We went to when we were on there, they only had 2 of the I guess Broadway type of shows.
Right.
I don't think they weren't fully. Their entertainment wasn't fully
staffed.
I don't know what the word is. They didn't have their full entertainment schedule yet. Just they haven't had enough time to prepare for so many shows. So they did Rock Revolution. They had 3 shows, 2 different nights. So you had lots of options to choose from. And then Broadway Beats, they had that 3 shows, 2 different nights. So we went to both of those. They had Family Feud one night in the Mardi Gras Theater. The tryouts for Family Feud were one day at the Grand Atrium at the center stage. So They had Deal or No Deal at center stage. They had lots of different acts at center stage. Different
Right.
the center
Good people
stage.
watching too,
The
I
electric
bet.
violins were there. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
the electric violins were there all night. That was probably my favorite. I just loved what they could do with the violin.
Yeah, that's
I would
amazing.
never be able to do that. And then they had bingo there. We didn't go to bingo at
Sure.
center stage.
And you keep mentioning center stage, just for anybody that didn't catch it earlier. So center stage is basically, it's this kind of atrium type area. Can you describe? This is a picture from the morning show, right? Can
So
you
the
tell
morning
us a little
show,
bit about that?
yes. So the morning show is at center stage, and those screens that have the wave written on them, they would rise up or go down into the floor. Both of them. There are 3 more sets, so they can make a whole wall of
Wow.
screens.
Wow,
So
that's amazing.
4 more. A lot of screens. So they would use that. Probably, to me, it was used more than the Mardi Gras Theater. And so
Wow.
we would walk by through the Grand Atrium numerous times, and we would always catch something different.
Oh.
And then there was one afternoon that we went to get the boys' milkshakes from Java Blue. And Java Blue was on the 6th deck, and the stage was actually on the 6th deck. So
nice.
We sat in front of the stage and they had their milkshakes, and I had an iced coffee. So, and there wasn't anything going on at that moment. So it was just a nice area to be able to sit there. But to me, it seemed like they used that area more than they did the Mardi Gras Theater.
Yeah, it sounds like this new concept for the atrium, the center stage thing is really smart. I love the fact that you've got a view of the ocean in the background. Not that the glass elevators and the classic, more round atrium isn't cool with a bar in the middle and different performances going on, but it seems so much more versatile. Well, they've got a lot more space to work with too.
And the atrium bar is still there. It's just kind of off to the side of the stage. So there's still that option too at night.
That's cool.
So just to pivot again, could you tell us about your stateroom?
Okay, yes. We actually, through the process of having all of our cancellations that we did, every time we booked, we kind of upgraded our room a little bit. We're just like, hey, well, let's book a little bit of a nicer room. And then when we learned we had to go through the exemption process, we're like, you know what? Let's try this Excel suite because we figured maybe it would give us a better chance of getting an exemption. And we thought if we end up having to stay in our room for any sort of quarantine, or say we just weren't comfortable being out amongst people, we would have plenty of space for our family of 4. So we stayed in an Excel suite midship. Honestly, the forward ones, the balcony is solid instead of a glass wall. And it's real narrow. It's long. It wraps around the front of the ship, but it's real narrow. I don't know that I would like that very much. The aft ones look phenomenal with the little personal hot tub or whatever. But we were happy with our midship Excel suite. Lots of space. The balcony had the best loungers on them that.
Wow.
They were comfortable. I think I could have slept there. But they were like the loungers on Loft 19, which having an Excel suite gave us access to Loft 19. So we spent at least about an hour up there each day. Most of the time we were up there was not anybody else. If there were other people, maybe. I think one time we went up there were maybe like 10 people around the pool area. And we're like, you know what, we'll just come back later. But most of the time it was 5 or fewer.
Wow.
Right.
Lots of times they had a whirlpool that overlooks Serenity. It was an infinity but it wasn't hot. It wasn't like a jacuzzi. It had the bubbles, but it wasn't it wasn't warmed a whole lot, which was great because we could stay in there longer. So my son had fun swimming in that
Right.
his own little private
Pool area.
Yeah.
He had a good time.
Cool. So now, and let's go back to your stateroom for just a minute and talk about one of the most important features, at least. I don't want to sound sexist, but I know the ladies really, the tiny little bathrooms that you get in the normal cruise cabin with a little the shower curtain, and you got to maneuver your way around to the different parts.
Yes.
So this one had a nicer bathroom, I would say.
It did.
Oh, look at that shower.
It had the rainwater shower heads, which after having those, we're like, okay, should we redo our bathroom at home?
Wow, you must have liked them.
Wow.
Yes, they were, and plus they had shower heads from the wall too, so you could have water from all different, and they were actually.
And it looks like a big shower.
It is.
Like more than one person could fit in there.
There were 2 sets in there. I think our whole family could have fit in there very easily, but it might have been a little awkward, so we didn't. But it was a very large shower. The water pressure was great. The bathroom area. My only it's not really a complaint, but observation, I guess. The sink was a double sink, but then that meant there was very little countertops.
Oh, sure.
Right.
So yeah.
If you went to sit anything on there, you can see maybe a few inches of space. But there was shelving underneath, so that was nice. There was plenty of storage area. And then they had a large vanity area out in the room.
Oh, that's nice. That's probably what makes up for no counter space.
Yes, yeah. So that's where I would usually get ready was out in the room, but the bathroom was really.
Did your husband like the shower area?
Oh yes, I think he is wanting to redo our bathroom more than I.
Wow.
Oh wow.
That's very cool. It's nice to get spoiled when you go on a cruise. I mean, usually when I think of getting spoiled on a cruise, I don't even think so much about the stateroom, even though you spend a little bit of time in there.
Yeah.
And when you're a family and you're waiting for people to get ready and stuff, to have that extra space, that's got to be really awesome.
Yeah.
And it's nice not having to deal with the curtain.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I don't like the curtains.
So a lot of people hate the curtain.
Yeah, the
Me
glass.
too.
Yeah.
That's much needed improvement.
I agree.
Yeah.
So,
were the boys comfortable in their cots or their sleeping area?
We actually had our sofa folded out to a double bed, and we also had a drop down from the ceiling. But they were like, let's just do the double bed, not worry about the drop down. So they were comfortable. They slept like. Their feet, the foot of their bed was right at the door to go out for the balcony. So when they woke up and sat up, if the curtains were open, they could look out the balcony.
Oh,
wow.
Nice!
How convenient.
But yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. There's some amazing. I can tell there's some amazing views on the ship. Anything else that people should know about your Mardi Gras experience, or that they should know about the ship in general?
Oh gosh, that is a picture of the summer landing pool, or the patio pool, I think they called it. That was summer landing was on deck 8, I believe, and that's right outside of Guy's Pig and Anchor. They had the Heroes Tribute Bar, which I guess kind of took the place of the sports bar, because that's where they had the TVs with different sporting events on. Then once you pass through Guys and Anchor, then you got into the La Piazza, so the Italian section. That's where the pizza was, and the deli. Christina was there. There was another bar, Bar della Rosa. Had a very pretty mural of roses on the wall.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that, my oldest son didn't really care for the pizza being away from Lido. He was like, you just never thought about it. So he never even had a pizza.
Oh,
at
Oh.
night he would go and hang out at Guy's Pick and Anchor. They had foosball tables in there.
Oh, sure.
And then he loved sports, so he was whatever was on the TV. And I think some of the friends they would go hang out there. And he could have gotten pizza then, but he said the line was too long at that point. He didn't. He's not very. He's not very. So
he didn't try having it delivered to him, because you can have the pizza delivery.
We didn't do the delivery, so I don't even know if he knows that that's a thing. I don't know that I want to tell him.
Yeah, well, they charge you for that. You can get it for free if you go there. They charge you for it, and yeah,
they do. So I don't know that I want to tell him because
yeah,
I don't blame you.
There's that, and plus the consumption would probably go up too.
Yeah.
So we're actually almost out of time. So before we go, we want to be sure to ask you to tell us
about your Instagram.
Yes, we mentioned it. We teased it before. Tell us a little bit about what people find on your Instagram account, which again is I'd Rather Be Cruising, and it's got the underscores in between each of the, and it's linked down below, everybody. So check it out there. So
honestly, I started that account a little over a year ago when, like most people, I was really missing cruising,
right.
And my family and friends in real life, I don't think they care about how much my immediate family, how much we love cruising. I've always taken lots of pictures. I make a digital scrapbook of every trip. And I was like, you know what? Let me just do this and start putting some memories out there. So really, my page it's just full of different photos that I've loved from the trips that I've made, some family memories. Like you said at the beginning, it kind of is like a little mini blog, a mini diary. I like to write. I worked at a newspaper when I was in high school doing secretarial type work, but I got to write a few articles.
Cool.
They tried to talk me into journalism, but I went to nursing school instead. But I do like to write. I like to be creative. I've always enjoyed art, but I'm not much of an artist. So photography is just a little hobby, and so they're my memories, my photos.
Yeah, they're awesome. We really enjoy them.
I like the Father's Day photograph.
Yeah, do you mind if we show our favorite? You've got a lot of great pictures, but we mentioned to you when we talked to you before that our favorite photo was your Father's Day photo. We'll put that up if that's okay.
Yes,
this is an awesome.
So cute.
Yeah, yes, that's my husband, and then my youngest son. I think that was Carnival Sunshine. Probably we went on that for the first time in April of 2017, a spring break trip. That was right outside of the lobby there, and they were just sitting there watching for flying fish. I can never see the flying fish, but they can, and so they were just sitting there talking and laughing, and I snapped that picture, and it's one of my favorites too.
It is so cute.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, hey, everybody watching, if you aren't already following Ashlyn's I'd Rather Be Cruising Instagram account, be sure to follow that. And Ashlyn, we want to thank you for joining us. We always enjoy talking to you. We enjoy seeing what you're sharing with us. And we want to thank you for sharing your experience with your family on the Mardi Gras.
Thank you
really
so
appreciate
much.
It.
Makes me want to get a churro.
We appreciate it.
If you want to, be sure to get a churro every day that you can.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Well, thanks for joining us. Well, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon. If not, we'll be kind of what do you call, spying on or watching your Instagram photos, if nothing else.
Or maybe we'll bump into you someday on one of the shows.
We're not too far away from each other, I don't think. So
no, not far. We're all three of us in North Carolina, so that's very cool.
For now.
Yes. So we'll talk to you. We will talk to you again sometime soon. Hopefully see you on the high seas, if not on land. And thanks for sharing everything. We really appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that was Ashlyn from I'd Rather Be Cruising Instagram. So be sure to check that out in the link down below. Click on that. Follow her on Instagram. And we hope you enjoyed this very special episode of Cruise Day Fun Live with Ashlyn from I'd Rather Be Cruising Instagram.
Yeah.
So that's been a lot of fun. Quick reminders. What do you
Remember
want?
to subscribe if you like our channel.
Yes,
And
it doesn't cost anything.
Hit the notification bell so you're notified of
That
new
way,
stuff.
yeah, that way you don't miss anything. And tune in live at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on Mondays for our live show. Next Monday at 8 o'clock, we're going to be doing 2 topics. We're going to be doing the
Unexpected cost of cruising.
That's right. And we're going to be talking about a carnival ship. Which one?
Carnival Freedom.
That's right.
Freedom.
so,
Sorry.
so thanks for watching. We really appreciate you joining us for this very cool, very informative Mardi Gras episode. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye.